Today, we catch up with Terrance and Felicia from the Time Done phenomenon, where
Yeah.
economic empowerment meets justice. So, Terrance and Felicia, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Yes. Well, I'm Terence Stewart. A lot of people know me as T Nut the Nutty Professor on the Roundtable Roundup. And what I do with my professional life is I'm a social justice advocate, organizer for people who are living with past convictions. So the organization that I represent is Time Done. A part of the Alliances for Safety and Justice.
So like Terrance, I'm a member of Alliance for Safety and Justice as well. I'm a community organizer. My specific title with Time Done is I'm the Time Done Events and Community Manager. And I'm excited to be here today with everyone and to be able to serve our community in this capacity.
So for those who don't know, what is Time Done?
And Time Done, it's the phenomenon. It's like you said before, where economic empowerment meets justice. And as we go on, we're gonna bring light to how economic empowerment is meeting justice. Yep. So go ahead. Sorry.
So what is the economic empowerment platform?
So I want to take a step back and talk a little bit more about Time Done, if that's cool, just for folks who don't know who we are and how we got here and why we're here. So we launched Time Done in 2018. For folks who know, we did an amazing event at the Greek Theater. The late, great Nipsey Hussle joined us. We had Ty Dolla $ign. We had My Son the General. We had folks coming out really to uplift and to support folks like Terrance and I, who have old records and old convictions. So we wanted to make sure, at the heart of all of the work that we do, we're basically here to serve our community. So in a nutshell, we're a community of 70,000 people with old records in all 50 states that provide economic empowerment and political education to anyone that's been arrested or incarcerated in the past. In a nutshell, again, we have three simple goals: to empower our people with old convictions, to shift the narrative about who we are. Lots of folks already know that people paint us like we're monsters and that we're these scary people. And we're here to shift that narrative so people really see who we are and dive a little bit deeper and have an understanding of who we are. And the last thing is that we pass laws that remove those barriers that continue to hold our communities back. And in terms of your next question, which was, what is the MRP? So everybody knows we operate essentially in three different buckets or verticals. The first is the Member Resource Program, which is the first ever online economic empowerment platform that is strictly tailored for people that have been arrested or incarcerated. And what we're doing there is building out education and resources to ensure that our community members have access essentially to the bag, so that we're figuring out ways that we can plug our community into the economy again. The second way we do that is via chapters. Right now we have strong chapters in California, but we're going to be launching in 9 additional states. That'll really give us an opportunity to engage our populace and provide them with political education and just those engagement opportunities. So when we talk about that, we mean like, getting our folks trained so they know how to tell their stories and they know how the legislature works and they know what it means to be an advocate and to actually work on passing these laws. The second one is, we conduct meetings with our elected officials, our mayors, our city council members within these chapters so that they can hear our stories from us, not the stories that they're hearing from the media. And the last is we do local empowerment events. So when we talk about that, we recognize that, our community needs to have the financial literacy. We need to have access to record change. We need to have access to jobs where people actually hire us and give us that fair chance. And then the last thing that we do is we do a lot of narrative shifting. So, on our social media, we're going to be launching Facebook, Instagram, Twitter takeover that just highlights members and their stories. And then, of course, the sharing of the stories to our elected officials. And then, the big thing is our public education campaign, which is I'm More Than My Criminal Record, which we'll be launching this year, that really just highlights, at least our goal is to collect 1,000 stories from individuals who have old records, so that the world can see us for who we are as we're navigating this member resource program itself. I know you asked, what is the member resource program? So like I shared earlier, it's just a platform that we built out that's specifically tailored for individuals who have been arrested or incarcerated. It's 100% confidential, and it's free of charge to our community in particular. So what we do is we provide free legal support. So what that looks like is folks can come in and get a free background check from one of our partners. We've got another partner who's going to be coming in to offer additional legal consultation support. And we're building out what we hope to be is the largest pro bono attorney network that's really focused on record change. So for folks who are in California, right now we got free background checks. And if you qualify with our partners, they're going to take away and handle the rest for us. We also do free credit education workshops. So basically, folks will learn how to see that roadmap to financial freedom through these educational workshops that they can attend, from, budgeting 101, how do you fix your credit, how do you balance, what resources are coming in and what resources are coming out. We also are bringing to our community free homebuyer workshops. So we literally brought in somebody who's part of our fraternity, who also has an old conviction, who has just blown it out of the water with what they do and the curriculum that they've developed to really help the community learn this skill so that they can go from a renter to a homeowner and to create that generational wealth that we've been oftentimes left out on. We also are doing career connections, which is, we have an online career platform, website that folks will have access to that plugs them into fair chance hiring opportunities. And then we also have partnered with other national partners who are going to be coming in and doing monthly virtual job fairs with employers and unions that folks know of. And last but not least, I know I said a mouthful with all of the resources that we're bringing in, but last but not least is our member perks. So in a nutshell, you join a Time Done chapter and you get exclusive access to in-store discounts at over 700,000 locations nationwide. And it ranges anywhere from something as small as 10% to discount as big as 50%. And that really is contingent on you become a member and we get you activated.
Great. That's really good. So you mentioned in chapters. Can you tell more about these chapters?
Yeah, it's in organizing terms, it's our local organizing committee, and like organizing always is centered around, building power, so like I question, many people question, and people have defined power as organized people and organized money. So like, this is where, why we said your title, like where economic empowerment meets justice, and like, so the organized money is just what we just said with Felicia, with the economic empowerment. So now we're organizing our people to be organized money. But also at the same time, we're organizing our people to be organized people, so like what we're doing is power building, and like, because most of the people take it as one approach. Either they have the money or either they have the people. But what we're saying is why we can't do both at the same exact time, so that's what we're doing for our members. So And the chapters, for so many years, we didn't pass legislation. Like we passed AB 1076, which automatic the record expungement process. We're working on a sunset bill that ended up turning into a 2-year bill, which another record clearing apparatus, where it automatically would happen instead of you having to go to extensive or automatic record clearances, but like the chapters is where we do the local organizing. It's where we meet with the local officials. It's where we meet with, we understand where we do the trainings on how to tell your story, because storytelling is a major component of what we do. And it's also to let people know, it's not just, your story is powerful, right? But that's not just your story. That's your life that you're living, that you're telling people. So it's not that just your story is powerful, it's that you're actually powerful too. And collectively, this is the power that we bring, and like to highlight, that we face over 70,000 barriers, and like, that's why it's so significant that we have over 70,000 members, so that we could be building the power to reduce the amount of barriers that we face. And this is where we strategize on how to remove these barriers that we face in our day-to-day living, that makes it so hard, and also like, where we engage with the membership, because I didn't say this in the beginning, but my title is the Membership and Engagement Manager. So what I do is I engage with members mainly through phone banking and talking to people, telling them about the economic empowerment platform, but also telling them about the chapter meetings. And doing so, I found the significance that like people are really excited about both, and like, fighting for their rights, but also like, economic empowerment. I talked to a guy who went to jail when he was young, in like 17, and he didn't get out till he was 47. He did 30 years. And like, he said that like the economic empowerment, he's already pushing for policy change, and he knows how to use his voice, but he said that the economic empowerment, he was in jail during most of the time, when he should have been learning about money, like from 17 to 40 something. So like, this is when he should have learned about money. This is where he should have learned about credit. This is where he should have learned about all types of different levels of budgeting. And he never had it. And that's why it's so important, because he knows how to tell his story. His story is his life. He understands that. But at the same time, he didn't understand how to budget. And that's what we found out through these chapter meetings, is that people are willing to tell their story, but a lot of times we face all these barriers and we're hungry. We don't have access to jobs. That's why honest jobs is so important. You find out this in the chapter meetings. A lot of people didn't know about credit, so we got the credit. We got enough barriers. So now by these resources, we're trying to offset these barriers. Something, and I've been talking about this recently, but like, you get out of jail, and I just imagine with me real quick. You get out of jail and you step into as soon as you get out with the $200 gate money, you step into that $200 pay to go into this obstacle course. You pretty much go into an obstacle course the moment you get out. And this ain't no regular obstacle course. This is like Ninja Warrior obstacle course, right? And the first obstacle, you're trying to get it, and it's like getting a job. That's the first obstacle. And you're trying to get it, and you try really hard, and when you fail, you get homelessness. You get homelessness. You get on the verge of stealing. You get a whole lot of emptiness, But if you do succeed and you go to the next obstacle, it's housing. And that's extremely hard too. And you try this obstacle course, you do it over and over again, and you fail. And if you fail, you get homelessness again. You get shelter. You get you know, couch to couch. You know, you get all these things. You know, then the next level is like, you get past that, now you're trying to reunify your family. And when you fail with that, now you go into drugs and addiction and all types of other things because of that. See, now this obstacle, it creates crime, but at the same time, it's almost nearly impossible. So like what we're doing with Time Done with this member benefits and these in the chapter meetings is making what is almost impossible become possible. Not just possible, but probable. You know, that you're, it's way more likely that you can succeed if you have the help that you need, you know, and that's what we're trying to do, you know, through record clearance, through advocacy, through policy and everything. So like in the whole shell, you know what I mean? Like, you know, this is what happens, but like at Time Done as a whole, but in the chapter meetings is what, you know, is where we actually train to organize and we put action down. You know, we like today, we had a bill that was anti-Prop 47 that would incarcerate people way longer for petty theft. And, you know, people don't understand. They said, oh, it's just a felony, you know, but like they don't realize that once you get this felony, you have a lifetime of barriers that you face. You know, and like by giving you this felony for the rest of your life, like what we was talking about earlier, is you have to jump through fire hula hoops just to get upward mobility. Like, and what I'm saying is that every time I fill out an application, it's for upward mobility. If I fill out an application for a job, I'm trying to raise up. You know, I'm trying to work. You know, I'm trying to come, like, you know, but the question makes it harder. When every time I fill out an application to an apartment and it's on there, that's still for another level of upward mobility. But then I'm still being denied it. So it's every time I get asked a question about my criminal record, it's not for no crime I'm finna do, because crime don't ask you about your criminal record. Who asks you about your criminal record is when you're trying to move up in life, you know, and these are the barriers that we face. So like, you know, we're trying to remove these barriers, and you know what I mean? And we're trying to add, while we're removing the barriers, we're trying to create opportunity for people that live with all these barriers. You know, from building skills to all the resources that we just named, but also learning how to tell your story, learning when to tell your story, learning how to tell your story on digital, you know, learning how to tell your story over the phone, learning how to tell your story at a legislative visit, learning how to tell you, you know what I mean? Like understanding the power dynamic and how the legal system works so that it can work for us. Because for so many years, this system been working against us.
Yeah, and to Terrence's point, like, you know, folks were asking us, we've been asked a lot, oh, so you guys are a direct service provider? And we're like, no, we really are just here to be able to build community. And upon building community, we recognized, you know, to what Terrance said, that like $200 coming home to $200, that's nothing. You know, that doesn't afford you, that barely affords you a meal and some new shoes if you're lucky. So to figure out ways, because we love our community, to create this kind of space and to provide specific resources that empower you to do more and that set you up for success are the foundation of what we're building.
So where can people find more information on Time Done?
You can check our website, timedone.org. You can go on any social media platform and look up the hashtag Time Done, and it will direct you to our website. I mean, to our actual websites and other people that like you said, is in our fraternity, you know, of trying to make a difference, you know, make a way out of no way, you know, so.
Cool. Well, Terrance, Felicia, thank you so much for sharing today. Thank you for talking about Time Done and the work you all do.
Man, thank you for having us. Thank you. KUCR always been, one of my favorite places. I'm alumni. I did the radio show for so many years. And you, Fungus, man, and over all these years, I have known you over 10 plus years. We have been fighting for people, to have upward mobility and to reach landings, so I adamantly and sincerely give you all my my love, man, for real, much love and respect, thank you, Fungus, for having us.
Much love, Terrance. Thank you.
Yeah, so like with Time Done, what we're doing, we're not just a service provider that just giving people, a service. What we're more into is teaching people how to fish. If you give a person a fish, they'll be hungry later. But if you teach somebody how to fish, they can eat forever. But see, with the economic empowerment, we're teaching them how to buy the lake so that they can, now that they know how to fish and they own the lake, they can teach their kids something and that could permanently help them with upward generational wealth for the rest of their days.